Clarissa Grace here from wakingupinparis.com. Now last week I slipped a little email into your inbox asking for some help with putting the final touches on my group program Brand Yourself Beautiful before releasing it officially. And the response was honestly overwhelming, so thank you. I spent all day on Friday and Saturday going through your answers and ideas. And I'd originally planned on responding to each one of you personally, like I usually do, but this time I'm just not going to have the time to do that. So rather than trying to email the answers to each one of you, I thought it might be easier and more valuable to shoot a quick video instead. That way you can benefit from the answers to the questions some of the other ladies have been asking too. Now, I'm not going to be able to answer every single one of your questions in this video. I'm just going to focus on answering the questions that were asked over and over again, okay? So let's get into it. Now the first question is, how do I use my style to express my brand but still feel completely me? This was one question I kept getting over and over again because it matters today more than it ever has, because we need to be more visible than we've ever been. We're on webinars, we're on Facebook Lives, on photo shoots and events, we're speaking on stages, and we are constantly being seen. And so the way we express and balance who we are and what we want to say through our brand has become very, very important. Now, it makes me really happy that this was one of the most popular questions, because it's exactly what I teach in a huge amount of depth in my program, Brand Yourself Beautiful. And it basically starts with redefining beauty. It starts with stripping away everything that we've bombarded with by the magazines and the runway shows and Instagram, so that you can figure out what is uniquely beautiful to you. It starts with asking the question, what do I find beautiful? Now, this might sound like a really easy, simple question to ask, but I can honestly tell you that the majority of women I work with actually don't really know what is beautiful to them, because as a society, we've allowed the big corporations to define beauty because they want us to spend their money with them, and then in the process, we've abandoned what is uniquely beautiful to us. So this is just a time of digging really deeply into who you are and figuring out how to fill your soul with the kinds of beauty that inspire things in you, like goodness, kindness, hope, love, and positivity, and then eliminating the kind of beauty that causes dissatisfaction or hurt or pain or negativity. There's a bit of work on your part, but you have an incredibly special support system in the program, and it's just a really beautiful process. Once you've been able to uncover what is uniquely beautiful to you, then I get you to answer the question, what do I want to say? This is the part where you start taking strategic control of your brand, because your brand isn't just what you say it is, your brand is what your audience says it is. And your clothes are an incredible tool for helping your audience make super fast decision that you are absolutely worthy of their time, attention, and money. So you want to make that decision as easy as possible for them. So this part is where we start exploring brand related questions like, what is my message? What do I want to be? Where do I want to go? Who is my dream client? How do I add value? What makes me unique? And what do I want my brand to look and feel like? Your answer to the first question, what do I find beautiful, is important because that's your heart. That's your beauty. It's the essence of who you are, and it's what makes you uniquely you. And then the answer to the next question, what do I want to say, brings your beauty and your message together. Your unique personal style and your personal brand will be like this visual mashup of the answers to those two questions. Now, once we've been able to build this uniquely beautiful, super solid foundation of your heart and your message, then we're ready to take you through the process of transforming those things into visuals and into a style that you absolutely love. Now, the second question is, how important is it for me to wear clothes that suit my body shape? Now, many of you know that I have really strong opinions on the fashion rule that says the first most important step to discovering your style is to know how to dress your shape. 99% of the world's personal stylists believe this, and for decades, the idea of dressing your shape has been absolutely everywhere. But my beauty, I have to tell you that I think this rule is complete crap. And the reason I feel that way is because the concept of dressing your shape feeds into this idea that your body is the first most important thing about who you are. That the purpose of your clothes is to manipulate or hide or minimize this gorgeous, miraculous body that is yours. And it feeds into this idea that looking tall and skinny and pretty according to today's ideal is far more important than wearing clothes that actually express who you are, that express your heart and your beauty and your message, and that is fun and that makes you feel out of this world amazing. So I actually believe that as female leaders, it is our responsibility to discourage anything that has us obsessing and ranting and raving and criticizing any part of who we are. It's brainwashing, and I actually think it's a really dangerous message to send. Now, don't get me wrong, I've been a fashion designer for over 20 years, and I don't deny that there are specific silhouettes and styles and styling tricks that can be used to alter and manipulate and flatter your darling figure. And I think it can be a useful tool to use at will once you've invested into the time and the care into building your foundation, into discovering your unique personal style, and into developing your own aesthetic, and then working through the process of accepting and loving your body for the gift it is to you. Trust me, beautiful, there are far better ways to teach you how to dress yourself in a way that is accepting and honoring of your shape and reflective of your heart, in a way that gives you the power to choose whether you want to dress your shape rather than it being this rule that you've been told to obey. And that's the gift I want to give you through my program, Brand Yourself Beautiful. I teach you to lead with your heart, not with your body. Now, the third question is, can I have two different styles for when I'm in different moods? One of the things we really focus on during the 5 weeks of Brand Yourself Beautiful is using Pinterest to translate your beauty and your message into visual inspiration, or images that reflect the answers to your two questions. What do I find beautiful, and what do I want to say? Now, Pinterest is amazing at helping you deepen your search for inspiration, because it's basically just one huge collection of interconnected images. If you can find one image you love, then you'll be able to throw yourself down the beautiful bunny hole filled with hundreds of images you love. Now, when you first begin this process, you might start to recognize a particular style type emerging, which is basically just different looks that express common themes or moods or personalities. So it could be things like romantic or bohemian or vintage or French or preppy or classic or edgy or trendy. You might find yourself drawn to one or two of these traditional style types, or you might find yourself drawn to lots of them. You may feel drawn to a particular style type today and then something completely different tomorrow, and that's fine. There are no rules. But the most beautiful part of finding your unique personal style is that the essence of that style probably won't change that much. It's the way you express that essence that will change and evolve, for some women more than others. So, for example, my personal style doesn't really fit into one particular type. It's basically just this mammoth mess of gorgeousness, what I think is gorgeous, which is entirely and unashamedly unique to me. On most days, I'm probably a funny mix of romantic and bohemian and French girl and a bit of vintage and a touch of edgy. On the weekends, when I'm at home with my kids and back and forth from the beach and I want to feel comfortable and relaxed, I'm probably more bohemian. On the days when I'm in front of the camera and I want to feel like a little bit more of a glamour puss, I'm more romantic. On days when I need to slay a business proposal or entice a potential collaborator and I want to feel strong and sexy, then I dress a little bit more edgy. The essence of my style is always the same, but I might focus on different style types to support what I need from my clothes, how I want to feel on that day, and what I want the outcome of that day to be. So, Brand Yourself Beautiful takes you through the process of collecting images and inspiration on Pinterest. The program teaches you how to be selective and caring as you're curating. It shows you how you can be editing and tweaking and deleting and refining until you start seeing your unique personal style come to beautiful life. It is a beautiful process. And by the time you've finished, it may be impossible to describe your style in a few traditional words, but that doesn't matter. When your personal style is authentically you, it only needs to make sense to you. Now, the fourth most popular question that I got was, how do I develop a great style when I hate shopping? Now, I hear this question a lot from female entrepreneurs, and you know what? I need to get real about one thing. Shopping can be hard, and for some of you, it's harder than others. Finding that one close to perfect piece that fits your style, that fits your size and your heart can be hard. So before you even step foot into a shop, you need to accept the fact that you're probably not going to be able to walk into a store, find your dream piece, and then walk out moments later. It just doesn't work that way. But high five yourself if it does, because it might. But the thing is, if you're willing to put the time and the effort into experimenting with your clothes now, it will quickly become a well-honed technique, and I guarantee that the benefits you'll receive by doing that will be so worth it. It's called front-loading the work. It's probably what you're already doing in your business, but it's also what you need to be doing during the process of figuring out your personal style. Once you've found the styles you love, the next time you won't have to work so hard because you'll be able to fall back on what you've already learned. And then before you know it, you'll be able to ditch the shops altogether, stay in your bunny slippers, and stick with online shopping instead. It's exactly what I do. Now, the first time you try shopping during this process, I want you to leave your credit card at home and your cash. I'm not joking. I want you to not buy a thing because there's still lots of experimenting and editing and fine-tuning that needs to be done first. If you find something you like, you can always go back and get it another time. But for now, I just need you to keep the risk and the pressure of shopping as low as possible. Now, once you're in the store, be sure to give Overwhelm the bird and start trying on clothes. Lots and lots and lots of clothes. Taking 5 pieces into the fitting room and then giving up because you hate them all, or because the lighting sucks, or the mirrors make you look fat, or the sales lady is pissing you off. It doesn't count, okay? If you're not a standard size, then you might have to work a little bit harder, but don't give up. You can be tall, you can be short or thin and curvy in all kinds of combinations, and you can still find beautiful clothes. I'm not saying it's going to be easy, but it is definitely possible, and some crappy defeatist attitude isn't going to do you any favors. And preparing yourself for failure will only make it harder to deal with your style challenges. So instead of saying, it's impossible to find pants because my legs are too long, why don't you try saying, it's difficult to find pants? There's a really big difference in mindset. Impossible forces you to give up, whereas difficult means you're up for the challenge. Now, you know what, honey? Even though shopping can start off feeling hard, once you've been taught, it actually becomes really fun. I see it over and over again with my one-on-one clients because it basically becomes this beautiful time where you can feel completely feminine and carefree and curious and creative and adventurous. And in Brand Yourself Beautiful, I'll show you the amazing system I use to support you in this process, so that you won't have to dread shopping ever again. Now, question 5 is, how do I find a style and build a wardrobe that lets me get dressed fast? Now, one of the best things you can do for yourself is to create your own unique style profile. Now, a style profile is basically just bringing together all the ideas and inspiration you have collected and then turning them into a detailed profile of your unique personal style. This will give you a really clear path that will move you from where you are now with the current state of your wardrobe to where you want to go. Now, once you have that, you'll be able to start editing and organizing and upgrading your wardrobe baby step by baby step. And that is when getting dressed in the morning becomes so fun and simple, because because you'll have the confidence that every single piece in your wardrobe has been thoughtfully and carefully selected, that it's been curated because it perfectly aligns and expresses your personal style. Now, in my Brand Yourself Beautiful program, there are 2 parts in the process of creating a complete style profile. In part 1, you'll create your own final mood board in Pinterest that'll express your overall feeling of your personal style. And then in part 2, you'll create a written summary which will describe the key qualities of your personal style. Part 1 is inspirational, and then part 2 is implementational. Now, creating a mood board is an incredibly powerful technique used by artists and illustrators and designers, and it's basically just a collection of images stuck onto a blank canvas, or in our case Pinterest, which conveys a mood or tells a story about a particular idea. Your goal is to end up with something that you can use as a complete visual reference to your style, and that will help you get a feeling for how all the different elements work with each other to ensure that you really love the whole picture that you've created. Now, once your mood board is finished, it's a good idea to create a written summary too, which will turn your inspiration from fluff and rainbows to something tangible and concrete. These are some of the questions I want you to start thinking about. What's the overall feeling of your personal style? What are the key pieces? What silhouettes and cuts do you love? What colors pop out at you most? What fabrics do you see? What are your favorite prints and patterns? What styling techniques do you want to use? And then what about accessories? So things like jewels, shoes, bags, hats, even hair and makeup. What do you want this style to say about you, and what do you want it to say about your brand? Now, next time you need to puzzle all the pieces together and come up with a name for your personal style by turning all the words you use to answer the questions above into a simple phrase that sums up your unique personal style. This one carefully crafted phrase will be the thing that you can go back to over and over. It'll give you direction and clarity around making decisions whenever you're out shopping for clothes, so that you can confidently say, yep, that's my style, I love it, or not so much. But be as creative as you want to be. It doesn't have to make sense to anybody but you. And please know you can rewrite this statement anytime you like, because your unique personal style is fluid. It will evolve as you do. Even though the really deep love you have for a particular kind of beauty and style will most likely stay the same. Now, the 5th question is, can I still develop a personal style and personal brand even though I'm 53 and overweight? Now, I've seen different versions of this question a lot over the last few days, and it actually just breaks my heart, because I just want to pause for a second here and say thank you, because I don't think I realized how many of you really struggle with this. And because of that, I'm actually going to provide more support around this topic in my Brand Yourself Beautiful program. So thank you again for collaborating with me and for helping me make this the most beautiful and transformative program I possibly can, because it genuinely feels like the fashion industry has made this collective decision to exclude women over the size of 8 or over the age of 28, and it's just really sad and sucky, isn't it? Fashion marketing is obsessed with youth, and I realize that these gorgeous young things need to get up and get themselves dressed each morning, but so do the rest of us. And I think that one of the hardest things is figuring out how to translate styles and looks for your own wardrobe when all you've got is a teenage glamazon as inspiration. I mean, it's hard to feel confident enough to wear the clothes you'd like to buy, but you just can't visualize yourself in them. So my answer to that question is absolutely yes. Yes, you can develop a style you love at any size, at any age. I don't care if you're 99 and a half, because I hold the deep belief that every woman deserves the chance to feel beautiful and powerful and inspired and completely herself again right now. There is absolutely no point in waiting to feel all these things at some fictitious anxious point in the future, and it's far less likely that you'll succeed if you feel like crap every time you get yourself dressed, because you have nothing in your wardrobe that makes you feel good about being you. And that just leads to a crappy day and a crappy week, and feeling like crap motivates nobody. So please invest in your beauty now. Work on your style. Give yourself the best now. Stop waiting for when you're 15 or 20 kilograms lighter to feel fabulous. You deserve to feel fabulous every single day, regardless of your age, regardless of where you're at on your health journey. You deserve to give this to yourself because you are worth it, and you are valuable, and you have a message that the world needs to hear from you. Now, the most popular question by far was, how do I find my style? Now, if you were one of the many, many ladies who asked me for help finding their personal style, then I am very excited to tell you that my program, Brand Yourself Beautiful, will be perfect for you. It's going to be a 5-week program where I will be teaching live on Zoom each week with an allocated Q&A time after each call. Now, I just wanted to run through what we cover in each week. So in the first week will be reality. We'll have a good look at where things are at with your style right now, what you are loving, what you're hating, and then set some goals to match. Then will be Style and Brand Week. We'll learn what is uniquely beautiful to you and figure out what it is you want the world to know about your message and your brand, and then lace those two things together. Then it's Body Image Week. I'll support you in changing your mind about your body and learning to accept and love her exactly as she is right now. No diets, no exercise, no surgery. And then Pinterest is next. That's when I'll show you how to immerse yourself in inspiration and beauty and stuff that makes your heart sing. We'll get your creative juices gushing and start bringing your unique personal style to life. And then after that, we have Experiment Week. This will be the week I send you shopping without your credit card. You'll find the patterns and fine tune and make lists and try loads of things on and experiment. And then the last week will be Style Profile Week. That's when we'll put together everything that you've created on your mood board, and we'll also make a written style summary that you can keep near your wardrobe for whenever an extra dose of inspiration is needed. Now, Brand Yourself Beautiful is coming out very, very soon, but there is going to be a limited number of spots. You see, I've loved working with my one-on-one clients, and I never actually planned on doing a group program, but so many people have been asking, which is so lovely. But I just want to be kind to myself and ease myself in. And then as well as that, Mr. Waking Up in Paris and I are moving states in a few weeks, which is another reason why I just want to make this program as intimate and lovely as possible. So that's it for this Q&A video. Thank you again so much for all your fantastic feedback, for all your questions, for helping me make this new program, Brand Yourself Beautiful, the most incredibly honoring and uplifting and life-changing program possible. This is Clarissa Grace from Waking Up in Paris. I will see you very soon. Mwah.